little about myself is that I grew up in Tennessee to Israeli parents. And similar to John Medved, my first job was at the Jewish Agency as well. When I started working there, I told myself that within 2 to 3 years, I would be moving to Israel. So here I am. I am in charge of projects and marketing and fighting online anti-Semitism. We're a nonprofit organization, an Israeli nonprofit that was established in 2020. And our vision is to safeguard Jewish lives by eradicating anti-Semitism on social networks. So how do we do this? We educate and train young adults and students on how to find, categorize, and report anti-Semitic content on social networks, ensuring that the content gets removed. So we work together with social networks to do this. Anti-Semitic content, we do this according to the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, their definition of anti-Semitism, and through also the social network guidelines. So we're kind of experts, and we know what the social network guidelines, what they're likely to remove and what they're not likely to remove, and we kind of prioritize the things that the networks will remove, and we teach people on how to monitor and report those. We also have an AI-based app that helps to collect and to categorize anti-Semitic posts. One really important thing, and I'm sure this has happened to you guys, if you see something anti-Semitic or anti-Israel and you report it and then it doesn't get taken down, a lot of times it's because it was reported in the wrong category. So reporting something on social media in the correct category is very important. And the AI-based app actually does the categorization for us. Other differentiating factors besides the AI system is that it's available everywhere. We do our workshops via Zoom, and we also have programs, Russian-speaking and German-speaking programs, and programs all over the world. We have 3,000 volunteers, over 3,000 volunteers. During the first month of the war, in the first week, we had about 3,000 people signing up to volunteer, and we trained them, and we kind of did a really major boot camp in several languages where we trained people on how to report and monitor social media. Like I said, we have 3,000 volunteers, and we do workshops all over the world. We even did workshops, Arab-speaking workshops to Muslims in the Abrahamic word countries. So some of our ways, during the first month of the war, we managed to report over 34,000 posts, thanks to manual reporting from our volunteers and from the AI system. And we reached a 26% average post removal rate on the major social networks. So this was 6% higher than October 2022. Here's an example of some removed content. So there's classical anti-Semitism of like the greedy Jew. And any content inciting violence against Jews and Israelis. Also, we managed to take posts like this down. We also have a special team that helps us monitor social networks like Telegram and Gab to find anti-Semitic content. As I mentioned before, we have an AI system. This is our dashboard. Basically, the volunteers will come in. First, they're trained extensively, and they learn about all the categories and how to report on social media. They go in, they see a piece of content that was categorized, and then they verify whether or not it was done correctly. And so the system always learns from the volunteers. This is basically the process that we do. We have data feeds, and we also have manual reporting for our volunteers. We actually learn a lot from the volunteers because they're all over the world, and we monitor in over 12 languages. So we're constantly learning about new hashtags, new anti-Semitic trends happening in different countries and in different languages. Data processing, and then content classification, so it categorizes the anti-Semitic content, and then we address it to the social networks. So we actually work with the social networks as opposed to against, and we have a really strong relationship with them. We are also a trusted flagger or priority flagger for Meta, TikTok, and YouTube. And we come up to them and we tell them that the content that's anti-Semitic and it also goes against their guidelines. We tell them if it's wrong that they didn't remove it, and then we kind of convince them to remove it. And we've really seen great success in our relationship and working with them. Our product roadmap, just a few different things. We want to improve the content classification on the AI system and the accuracy to 90%. We want to update the content monitoring to 5 languages on the system. For now, it's only aggregating content in English. So what does this mean in numbers? We want to expand our monitoring in the next 2 years to remove over 200,000 pieces of content in 8 languages and in 10 leading platforms. We already are monitoring on 10 platforms, but we want to just increase the removal rate there. And we also want to engage with our activists and volunteers globally. As I mentioned, we learn a lot from them. And we can do this by more educational programs in different languages and raising awareness via workshops. Some of the challenges in reaching these goals were volunteer-based, so volunteers kind of come and go. We also, I didn't mention before, will partner with Israeli high schools and universities to provide either high school group credit or financial scholarships, volunteer scholarships to university students. So a big challenge is that training takes a lot of time and volunteers leave when they've fulfilled their hours. We do see that in our long-term educational programs, about 20% of people do stay on, but it does take time to train them. And our development team is also mostly student volunteers, so they've limited professional experience. And that's where you guys come in. To get involved, you can join our free training sessions. We have training sessions every single month. We'd be happy to partner with you, whether it's holding a special training session specifically for your organization or your group, long-term educational programs like online boot camps, which we recently just finished one in Canada, or we can work together to improve our gateway system. And as always, if you want to support us, you can follow us on social media. You can tell your network about us and subscribe to our newsletter, or even provide a monetary donation to help us increase our activity and stop anti-Semitism around the world. And together we can stop the spread of anti-Semitism online.